people who make decisions about cost, as John Ruskin knew, people who make decisions about cost alone are always going to fall victim of manipulative operators, cheapskates, skinflints, and cutthroats. Cost is not the most important thing in civilization. It really is not. I believe the ability to make things is. And because we're dominated in this country by what I always think of as a bit of McKinseyite sensibility, you can measure anything. McKinsey said if you can measure it, you can manage it, and that applies to to profit and loss. And I think that's so wrong, because the most important things can't be measured. Making things. It's not just about. Clearly, it's an important aspect of economic activity, and wealth production. But I think much more than that, and this is what I want to talk about at the IF event, is this. It's making things. If you live in a culture which makes things, you keep alive important things like social cohesion, respect, pride, pleasure, dignity. As John Ruskin knew, people who make things tend to be more contented, more satisfied, more confident, frankly, better behaved people. The idea that we've been living for so long now in what Keynes has described as a casino rather than a workshop. I'm not against financial institutions, but the disproportionate gains that arrive from financial manipulation have removed from people any fundamental conceptual relationship between input and reward, and between the meaning of things, and that's why it's a tragedy when we're now going to lose the ability to make trains in this country. And I'm not talking about that in sentimental terms. I'm not thinking about Stephenson's rocket, we've lost a lot of fabulous Victorian. I'm not interested in that. I'm looking to think about the future, not about the past. Why does no one make the calculation that it's actually worth investing in train making? Because if you invest in train making, this is the importance of manufacturing. It's not just the actual thing itself, but if you live in a culture and economy which makes things, not only do you get all the benefits of social cohesion, you keep alive all the upstream and downstream disciplines, which are also necessary to a credible culture and a credible economy. Teaching, research and development, materials, marketing. We can't live. Mrs. Thatcher taught us for a while, and quite successfully, that we can live in a country which just serves cappuccino to each other, but you can't do that indefinitely, as we're now finding out. One of my many problems is that I used to regard John Ruskin as a preposterous old Tory bigot, and as I get older, I'm more and more identifying with Ruskin and his passion about the nobility of work, the morality of objects, which frankly I've always believed. But Ruskin's problem was this: he moved from doing straightforward art criticism to doing political economy, and then went promptly mad. And I sense myself moving from doing art criticism to doing a version of political economy, which I'm not really competent to do, and possibly the abyss of insanity awaits.